Have you ever wondered why some companies consistently deliver exceptional financial results and their employees are fanatical? Is there a secret sauce? Well, we don't think there's a secret sauce, but we do agree with Aon Hewitt that engaged employees say great things about their employers, strive to do their best, serve the company as if their own, and stay because they can't imagine another company that is more aligned with their own personal values. So what happens when you combine visionary leaders with employees who say, strive, serve, and stay? High performance is what happens. For the next few moments, we'll explore some of the cultural traits that we discovered that exist in these high-performing organizations. We'll also highlight the behavior of their leaders and their employees. So, what exactly is a high-performing organization? In general terms, a high-performing organization, or HPO, is a company that has a track record of success that eclipses their competitors. To keep this simple, we'll consider the cultural traits against the backdrop of an abbreviated employee life cycle, which are the steps the employees go through from the time they enter a company until the time they leave. The abbreviated employee life cycle we'll use here is hire, inspire, admire, and retire. Now, the first cultural trait that we'll consider is the one that's at the beginning of the employee life cycle, hire. This first step is probably the most important. High-performing organizations realize that this is not a time to be cheap. The cost of replacing a bad hire far exceeds the small additional cost of hiring the best person in the first place. Here are 3 traits that Southwest, Google, Microsoft, and Zappos all focus on. Hire talent, not just trainable skills. As they say at Southwest Airlines, you can't train nice. Screen for the success. High-performing companies know what it takes to be successful and screen for it. Make them want you before you want them. You see, company culture can be a powerful recruiting tool. The bottom line is, the leaders in HPOs adhere to the right principle. They accept that interviewing talent is their rightful role. They ensure that they have the right people in the right chairs doing the right work with the right support, being guided by the right vision. How do the employees behave or respond? They expect the best of one another and hold each other to the highest of standards. In HPOs, the rigorous screening process ensures scrutiny and commitment to membership in an exclusive club. Now, let's stop at the next step in the employee life cycle, inspire. Once the HPOs have recruited the best talent to join their exclusive team, leaders have to inspire them to perform to their capabilities. Employees have to experience the wow that they heard about and now expect. How do HPOs inspire? Here are 4 traits. HPOs continue the love fest. They ensure that their new members are welcome and supported. They remember, high performers respond best to leaders, not managers. They encourage creativity and innovation, and they create an empowering environment based on freedom and autonomy. Consider Nordstrom. Their service is legendary. Nordstrom employees are empowered to surprise and delight their guests to deliver exceptional service. There are hundreds of stories of their employees seemingly donning a superhero cape and leaping tall buildings in a single bound. Nordstrom's one-page employee handbook says, "Our #1 goal is to provide outstanding customer service. Set both your personal and professional goals high. We have great confidence in your ability to achieve them." Nordstrom rule #1. Use your best judgment in all situations. There will be no additional rules. Here's an example of how that judgment once played out. A guest of Nordstrom shared her disappointment with her personal shopper about the poor selection of women's shoes in size 10.5. 3 days later, that guest received 24 pairs of shoes from Blake Nordstrom with a note of apology. The personal shopper, in her best judgment, felt that Blake should be aware of the customer's disappointment. Nordstrom's legendary customer service efforts simply boil down to a great business strategy. Going back to our abbreviated employee life cycle, we've discussed hire and inspire. Now let's look at admire. Once you have hired the best employees and are inspiring them, you can't rest on your laurels now. Admire is the phase in which leaders acknowledge and appreciate them. How do HPOs admire? Here are 3 things that they do. They listen to employees' needs and ideas. They give employees feedback, and not just during annual reviews. They nurture TGIM, thank goodness it's Monday, employees, and not TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday, ones. The biggest mistake a manager can make is to ignore employees. But sadly, it happens in companies every day. Imagine how the Nordstrom employee would have felt if Blake Nordstrom would have ignored his call. The employee would have been taught a powerful lesson that didn't align with the brand. Employees who are inspired by their leaders are content, engaged, and have greater career satisfaction. They strive to serve, and they stay. Finally, let's take a quick look at the last phase in the employee life cycle. It's retire. When employees see your company as the employer of choice, they will do everything they can to be in and stay in the exclusive club. If you commit to hiring, inspiring, and admiring the best talent, they will go out of their way to contribute quality service and products. Now this all seems like pretty simple stuff, huh? Some might even say common sense. So the reality is there's no secret sauce. Leaders have to be authentic, visionary, and relentless about seeing and aligning the vision, expectations, and values. They can't just talk the talk. They have to walk it, run it, live it, and bleed it. And guess what? It will be contagious. Employees will respond with both the head and with their heart. They will say great things about their employers. They will strive to do their best. They will serve the company as if it's their own. And they will stay because there's no place better for them. And what happens when you add visionary leaders with engaged employees? You get high-performing organizations. We've covered a lot of ground quickly, but you're all high performers, so we know that you got it. The question is, as a leader, what do you do?